Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I thought it'd be fun to go ahead and do a little bit of a makeup playtime and just try out some products that are either new to the market in general or just new to me. So I've got some newer releases from Alamar Cosmetics, some new ColourPop lippies that I purchased. I've got a little bit of PR, and then I also have some products, specifically a palette. I'm sure you already saw it on the thumbnail that I've been wanting for a really long time, and I finally did it. So let's just go ahead and jump on in. So I did already do my base makeup off camera just because I didn't have any new primer, foundation, concealer, powder, or brow product to try out for this video. So I figured I would just get that done. It's just a clean canvas basically. I actually did have something I really wanted to test out and try. I'll show you guys really quick, but it's just not gonna work for me. So I picked up the Cara Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base, and the shade is medium. On the website there is no shade. I didn't personally pay for this. I picked it out, but I used PR credits just to let you know, so it was technically gifted. But I was super excited about it. I wanted to give it a chance because I've seen so many people raving about it, and it's just like, yay, there's a new eye primer. First of all, I feel like the packaging is not the best. Just like for such a liquidy product, I would prefer something that came in a tube or something that had some type of applicator, because this is just kind of a lot. It's very liquidy and it's kind of messy, and I still was going to give it a chance. I'm going to show you guys really quickly just in case. If any of y'all are a fair skin tone, I do not recommend this at all until they come out with more shades. So here's a little swatch of what it looks like. When I put it on, it looks like I'm wearing an eyeshadow like all over that is like just like a peachy brown color, and I feel like it dries down to look even darker on my eyelid. So I tried it the other day and it was a complete fail. Unfortunately, I just went ahead and took it off. I feel like I can't even properly test it out just because any shadow that I put on top is going to look like way different than how it's supposed to. And then just for reference, this is the Anastasia eye primer, which I know is very pale, which I personally appreciate because for so long I bought so many eye primers and they were never like super light or light enough to add a highlight on me, and this one actually does, and it's what I went ahead and primed my eyes with today. So there is the Anastasia primer next to the Cara Cosmetics. So quite a difference. So I'm going to see if I can find a friend and pass that eye primer on because it's just not going to work for me. Just wanted to let you know my thoughts. I will gladly try it again if they come out with more shades, but right now it's a major no. Alright, so next I picked up the Alamar Cosmetics Brighten and Bronze Complexion Trio, and I chose the shade Fair. Obviously, it says it is infused with hyaluronic acid. I'm so excited because I just adore the colors that were chosen for this palette. So there is Rise and Grind, which is the brightener, Pale Wear, which is the bronzer. I love this shade name. And then Cafe Con Leche is the deepeners. And then I also have the new Face Brush Trio from Alamar Cosmetics as well, which I got in BoxyCharm. I've used these a few times already. I pretty much have my thoughts on them, but I thought I'd go ahead and show them to you today, especially with the palette since they were made to be for each other. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start off with Rise and Grind, that brightener shade first. Actually, let's just do some swatches. Let's see. Ooh, that's actually like really pigmented and very, very pale. I think that will actually work for me. And then here's Pale Wear and Cafe Con Leche. So I don't think I'm going to do a ton of comparisons right now because this video will be forever long. Oh, that looks kind of warm on my hand actually. But whenever I review the palette, if you want to see that compared to a certain bronzer, I have Fenty in the Sun, I have Divina, I have Physicians Formula. I don't know, I feel like I have some pretty popular bronzers so I can try and compare the shades. I don't know, I feel like that looks much warmer than I was expecting to. Just in the palette, they look more neutral. So I did already set underneath my eyes with the RCMA No Color Powder just to keep it from creasing a ton. I mean, I do still have little creases because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of inevitable to have just a little bit of creasing underneath the eyes, especially if that's just your eye shape. But I figured I would go ahead and use the brightener shade less to set and more just using it lightly to add a little bit of highlight. So I'm going to go into that with the brightening brush. I mean, I don't see a ton of difference. It might just be that it's like exactly the same shade as my skin tone. So I will try setting with it next time. And I guess it looks good on the nose. It doesn't look super drying. Alright, I think I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Pale Wear with the complexion brush. I've been using this one for blush, but I may as well just try it out for bronzer today. So I'm going to go ahead and just do a light sweep with that color. Okay, so I feel like that's going to be kind of the same formula as the blushes, where it's just more buildable and it's not like a straight just like crazy amount of color on impact. I personally prefer that because I feel like it makes it a little bit more user friendly. So I'm just basically bronzing the entire outskirts of my face with that, trying to turn my 5 head into a 3 head, or at least a 4 head. Let's be realistic. So I like that. I feel like it's a very, very natural color for me. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take the bronzer brush, which is definitely my favorite. I just feel like it blends bronzer so well. I've been using it with the Fenty Into Sun bronzer and then just using it like on its edge and just really blending upwards rather than downwards, because I feel like sometimes I tend to do that. I take my face products a little bit lower and I feel like if I keep them higher, then it just looks like more snatched. I don't know how to describe that without using slang, but anyways, I'm going to take Cafe Con Leche now with that brush. I'm a little bit nervous because it really does look a lot warmer than I expected it to. And I'm just going to start it off right here and then blend it out. I mean, it's blending really nice. I don't know, I really like that. I feel like I've seen so many just face palettes that swatch the way that those two bronzers did, and then I'm like, oh, that's very orangey or muddy or whatever, but I feel like that just looks like super natural, and it's just like the perfect little amount of warmth to bronze without looking crazy or completely unnatural. Because my skin doesn't not bronze, to be honest. It gets red. I'm also going to take just a little bit of that along my temples, just slightly. I'm going to go ahead and take my Morphe E62, which I believe is supposed to be for nose contour, and I'm going to go into a little bit of Pale Wear just for the heck of it. I like almost never do this step, but just blending that out to the best of my ability. I'm going to go into some Rise and Grind. Put that right down the center. Alright, so first impression, this palette is definitely a little bit warmer than I thought it would be, but I do really like it, and I feel like if you are looking for bronzer for fair skin, it is a very, very natural, easy to blend out color, so I definitely look forward to using that more in the future, and I think it'll be a perfect little travel palette. I think you could definitely use these for eyeshadow as well, and kind of have some solid transition shades. I could see a really easy matte look out of this, and then like even if you just threw your highlighter all over the lid and then a little bit on the inner corner and called it a day. So I'm excited to test that out more. I also, because I couldn't help myself and I was trying to get free shipping, you know, the deal, I ended up grabbing their Colorete Blush Trio in the shade Fair because I've been interested in this for a while. I actually have right here the shade Medium, which I got in BoxyCharm, and I really, really like it. I feel like I said, the colors are more sheer buildable, so I can make them work even though it's a medium palette and I have a fair skin tone. I just feel like it's really pretty. There's a really warm kind of peachy color, a coral, and a pink, so I've enjoyed this palette a lot, even though I feel like you can't even tell because I barely use any blush when I go into it, and I don't know, I go pretty lightly with blush, but I wanted to grab the shade Fair. So here's what it looks like, and it looks really, really pretty. I don't know, I feel like these shades, like especially Castaway and Scorcher, just look like they have almost like a satininess to them. Really, really beautiful. This is almost a little bit golden. This one's peachy, and this one's more of like a soft kind of rosy color. So pretty. Let's do some swatches. Oh my gosh. That's very orangey, but kind of about it. And then that shade looks super nice. That actually kind of looks like another blush I was trying to dupe. So, and then yeah, Scorcher just has, I don't know if you can tell, it doesn't even look like shimmery or anything. It just has a subtle glow to it. So those look pretty. I'm a little bit nervous about this one. Ooh, my hand is still a little sticky there, so I think it was, I think it's stuck onto something. Let's do another swatch of that one. Yeah. So there's what they look like. So I already have an eye look in mind that I'm going to do today, so I think I'm going to go ahead and take Paraiso just because that works the best. And again, I'm going to use the little complexion brush. I just feel like this is the perfect shape for a very diffused blush look. But yeah, really like that color. Just a very everyday blush to me. I feel like my cheeks too, for having, you know, quite a few powder products on them now, look pretty glowy, and I don't have any highlight on yet. Alright, so I am super, super happy with my ever-growing Alamar Cosmetics collection. I also grabbed the Pumpkin Spice Mommy lip gloss from them as well, but I'm not going to try that today just because I have something else to try, but I was very intrigued by it. Alright, y'all, it's time. Let's talk about it. I did it. I couldn't help myself. I love Natasha Denona so much, and I have had this palette on my wish list for a really long time. Ever since it released, I thought it was beautiful, but it was like, I can't afford that. Like, that's crazy. I'm like, is it even worth it? Like, that was before I had even tried Natasha Denona when this released. So I was very much like, that's something I'm going to love from a distance. And I was okay with that. Like, that's fine. I was inspired by the color story, and I do love, I don't know, I'll show you in case you haven't seen it before, even though it's super old. I just love how this is kind of like a really pretty purpley pinky toned palette, but still so muted and wearable, and there's like this pop of like this greeny to pink duochrome, and I don't know, I really love the purples in here, and I've seen the mattes look like they kind of change a little bit on the eyes to be a little bit less muted as they look in the palette because they are very soft, but just overall I think that the palette color story is stunning. So this past weekend, this was on sale at Sephora. It had quite a big discount taken out of it, and honestly I saw it Friday night. I added it to my cart. I thought about it. I thought about it Saturday night. I thought about it Sunday night. I thought about it Monday. And literally at like 12 o'clock at night, right before the sale was about to end, I purchased it. I gave myself as much time as possible. And it was still kind of one of those things where it was like, I definitely don't need this to live my life. But I do know just how much I adore Natasha Denona's quality. I really, really hope I'm not disappointed by this palette. So we're going to give it a go. I think we can go ahead and do some swatches first. And then I have a very specific eye look that I have in mind that I want to do. I don't know. Natasha Denona, her palette just give me butterflies, okay? I have the mini Lila palette here too, or Lila? Lila. I'm pretty sure it's Lila. And I feel like even though I bought this with no plans of buying the original, it was like not even something I had thought about. Like the colors in the mini actually complement this so well, and they add more colorful matte tones in, and kind of like another lighter kind of golden toned highlight, a very warm transition. So I feel like these two, obviously it's the Lila, mini Lila, like it's not like it's some random coincidence that they complement each other so well, but I am happy to have both of them, and I really think the mattes here are going to be nice with this, even though I'm just going to do a look with this alone today, but I will definitely explore that in the future. So let's jump into some swatches. I think I'm just going to do them, let me see, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and do them like this, just because I kind of feel like that's how the color story makes sense, and I normally swatch 3 shades at a time, so it's fine. Alright, so we have Per Se, which looks so much deeper on my arm than on the palette, Layla, and Juno, I want to say, which is such a pretty kind of light purpley taupe, silvery shade. I was really excited about that one. Okay, next we have Viola, which feels like more of a satin, almost to the point like I could even see maybe using that as a matte shade. And then we have, I forgot already, Amethyst. Huh. I feel like that's not swatching quite as intense as I thought it would. And Livid, which that one's really creamy. Alright, next we have Amara, Super Smooth, Magnetic, and Pure, which is a really pretty burgundy. It actually reminds me a little bit of Bare Minimum from the ColourPop It's My Pleasure palette, except this one actually has a little bit more of a warm base. It's a duochrome, but I feel like the burgundy color that it has looking face forward is very reminiscent of that ColourPop shade. Okay, next we have Cyclone, which makes me feel like I'm in a middle school dance again. And that is another duochrome. It has a warm kind of orange shift with a like a lighter golden orange base to it. And then we have Magnolia, just more of a chunky, very thick metallic gold, and Dragon's Bite, which I think might be the coolest color in here. It's not swatching as good, but just the shift, super pretty. Last but not least, we have Nude Vino, Nude Mauve? Yes. Oh my gosh, why can't I remember these names? And Helio, which I think that one looks really, really pretty as well. Kind of got a little, not straight there at the end, but those are all the shades. I feel like the mattes all swatch really, really nice. I'm super excited about them. I feel like the shimmers are pretty. There's definitely a few different duochromes. I don't know if the metallics feel quite as intense as some of her other palettes that I have, but it might just be swatching. I'm going to test them out on the eyes. Again, this is something I have to test out for a long time before I can say whether it was worth the price or not. Probably not, but I'm crazy. So I really think it looks very beautiful. So whenever I was watching 1001 reviews on this palette, I saw this look that Natasha Denona did with the Lila palette, and it's kind of like the warm gold and then the pink and then the purple and then the matte shades kind of focused on the outer V. So I'm not sure exactly what color she used at every point of this look. I think there is something online. I don't need to watch step by step. I'm just going to kind of do something inspired by this. I thought that was really pretty. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with Nude Mauve. And I did already prime my eyes with the Anastasia eye primer today. Alright, so I'm just picking up a little bit of that shade on a kind of medium-sized blending brush, and I'm going to start that off on my outer V. It's pretty pigmented, so I'm going to kind of just put the color where I want it and then blend out from there. Definitely focusing most of the pigmentation on that outer corner, and then just barely using any pressure on the brush against my skin as I blend inwards. And that blends so easily. Definitely wouldn't recommend this palette though if you are in it for the mattes, because there's only 4 of them. But I do not mind. Does anyone get like constant eye boogers or just me? Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take a touch of Nude Vino on a much smaller little blender brush, and I'm going to put that right on the outer V, just keeping it more concentrated. Then I'm just going back in with my previous brush and blending over the edge. I'm also going to take the shade Nude Vino on my pencil brush and just connect the outer third of the lower lash line to the outer V. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Amethyst. I'm going to wet my brush just so I don't get any fallout. And I'm going to pop that shade on the outer third, outer half of the lid or so. Just kind of packing the pigment on, and then I'm going to lightly blend it. Okay, I brought that over farther than I meant to, but that's okay. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Magnetic. Again, just using that same brush and wetting it. This is totally optional, it's just that I did my face first, because that's what I like to do, but I'm going to go ahead and pop that on the front of the lid a little bit more, just kind of blending it into the purple, making sure I leave some space for the gold. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and take the shade Magnolia, and I'm popping that onto my inner corner. I'm kind of wondering if she went in with one of the duochrome shades on the inner part right here, but the gold looks pretty. I'm just going to blend that into the pink. I'm actually just taking the edge of the brush and just slightly blending that upwards a little bit. And then I'm taking a small clean blending brush and going over that edge. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take Juno for my inner corner. Really, really like that color. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this shade called Livid, just on that same brush, and I'm going to pop that onto the remaining part of the lower lash line that's still open. Might actually go into a little bit more of Nude Vino just to deepen that up. So there is pretty much my finished eye look. First time using the Lila palette, and I do really like how it turned out. I feel like I liked the quality of everything, but I don't know if I feel super wowed by it so far, but obviously definitely gonna keep playing with that. So I have a new eyeliner to try today, and this was sent over in PR from Pixie. They sent their Endless Silky Eye Pen, and I'm not sure what the name is. Oh, there. Okay, it's just black/noir. So I wanted to go ahead and give this a chance. I feel like I may have had a mini of this a long time ago, but I always hear people rave about Pixie's pencils, and I've wanted to try them for a while, especially like a nice deep rich brown. So we're gonna give it a go. Oh yeah, that's definitely very pigmented. I feel like these are a little bit more on the affordable spectrum, not like as affordable as like ColourPop or whatever, but like I could never, I mean, never say never, but honestly, I don't see myself ever purchasing like high-end eyeliners. I just can't justify the price. Talk me into a Natasha Denona palette, but not an Urban Decay liner. I feel like that's the easiest tight line I've ever done. Didn't even have to make a weird face. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and throw on some mascara, and I'll be right back. Alright, so for highlighter on Black Friday, I actually picked up 2 highlighters from Cara Cosmetics, and I haven't had the chance to try this one on my cheeks yet, so I really wanted to because it's a really pretty pink tone, and I just wanted to try it out today. So this is the shade The Ascendant, which looks like this. I don't know if you can tell, it's just a very light pink. So I'm going to go ahead and use the, where did I put it? The Alamar Cosmetics brightening brush again. Just going to kind of dust off the powder that was on there before. I've actually really been liking this brush for highlighter, which I'm surprised by just because it's so much bigger than what I would normally go for. But I feel like it just blends so beautifully on the cheekbone. It looks pretty. So it's kind of giving me Ofra Pillow Talk vibes, but a little bit more subtle. I went in with just a tiny little bit though, so I'm sure I could build it up. Oh yeah, that's really pretty. Not surprised though. I feel like everything they do is so well done. I feel like I'm having a pretty good skin day again. Alright, so last but certainly not least, I made an impulse decision and purchased all of the new ColourPop Luxe lip glosses just because I thought that they looked really beautiful, and I wanted to test them out. So I've actually put them back in the packaging, but I've been trying out like 2 a day. So I've used like 4 of them now. So I kind of am building my thoughts, but I think today I want to go ahead. I don't think I've used this light pink yet right here. What are you? This is the shade Ticklish. I feel like a light pink would look pretty. I'm going to do a full lip swatch video on these lip glosses when I like review it fully. Alright, so there's Ticklish. I feel like some of these are more pigmented than others. This one's definitely a little bit more on the sheer side. Slightly, just a tiniest little bit amount sticky, but not too much to where it's annoying. I feel like they last a little bit longer than like more slick glosses. Oh wait, I totally almost forgot. I also have the Pixi Glow Mist, which looks like this. They sent it in the same PR package as the eyeliner, and I wanted to try this out. Is this the one that everyone raves about? Because I tried a different one from them and it was okay, but I've heard people rave about a certain spray and I can never remember which one it is. This says it has propolis and argan oil in it. So it's a nourishing mist. I'm just going to go ahead and shake it first just to see. It says it is an all-over face mist for glowing, luminous, and smooth complexion enriched with 21 natural oils plus propolis, aloe vera, and fruit extracts. So you could use it before makeup, after makeup, anytime, shake to mix, close eyes. All right, so let's see. I like the way that looks. And I feel like the spray, it's a little bit aggressive, but it's also like very even all at the same time, so I don't mind that. And honestly, I don't like sprays that are super soft because I feel like it's not doing anything. Like if I can't really feel it hitting my skin, then it's like I feel like I end up using way too much. Like the Morphe spray, not my favorite feeling. Even though it's so soft, it's just I want to feel the spray. So I think that looks really nice. Alright y'all, so this is the finished look. I really hope you enjoyed getting to play with some new makeup with me. I feel like overall everything was really nice. I'm super impressed by the Alamar Cosmetics products. I really like the way the eyeshadow turned out. Again, I feel like I could probably do this look with way less expensive palettes, so I'm curious to keep giving that a go and see how I feel long term about it. I feel like the highlight looks really pretty, definitely my vibes all the way, and it's a brand that I absolutely love. And then the gloss, I feel like it's probably not going to end up being one of my favorite formulas, but I do like the way it looks, and I feel like it is super glossy. It'd probably be a really good topper, so I'll have to try that next. But anyways, I am going to go now, so I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.